Looking at the Premier League match week 12, here are my reactions, my recaps after watching a couple of matches this weekend. Being a Chelsea fan, waking up at 7:30 on Saturday morning was not the best thing and not the thing that I wanted to do, but it was what it was. Chelsea started to open the game up. The first 30 minutes of the match, they played absolutely perfect, the best that I feel like Chelsea has played all season long, and that's what I think we need to expect from the boys. I mean, but after that, they looked once once Leicester City came out of their we call it a deep six or their fully defensive positioning or tactics that they were in, and they started opening up the game a lot more. 30 minutes to halftime, Chelsea were sweating the entire time. They did not look like they were controlled and not look like they were disciplined anymore. And that defensive immaturity that I talk about, in most of my Chelsea videos, it definitely started to poke out. And so watching that game and watching the second half, it was obvious that there were going to be some broken plays, some brokenness of the back line for Chelsea. But, they didn't concede until the penalty in like the 88th minute, 90th minute, something like that. And so that's effective. That's not bad. Leva with a pretty bad tackle, but it was what it was. Chelsea got all 3 points, and what happened after that is that Leicester City and manager, I think Steve Cooper, they parted ways. So now Leicester City are looking for a new manager. So you hate to see it, but Chelsea getting 3 points, sitting at the third in the Premier League on 22 points. It's a great day. It's always a good day to see that. Looking at Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest, no Chris Wood. Didn't really get going. Arsenal definitely took it to Nottingham Forest the entire time. Wanted to remind the league that they wanted to remind the league that they were a very good team. That they were a dominant team, and that they wanted to show that Nottingham Forest might have a good defense. They might have an effective offense, but they're not going to crumble to the Nottingham Forest. And so that's exactly what happened. Arsenal playing well, very, very well. A lot of teams this weekend did not have a lot of their star players because of some returning late for the international break, and that didn't seem to be a problem at all for Arsenal as they took all 3 points against Nottingham Forest. Aston Villa versus Crystal Palace. This game went back and forth. Aston Villa and Crystal Palace was a very lively game. Finishing 2-2. I actually didn't even watch this match, so I can't give you too much on it. I'm not going to try to even give you too much on it. But lo and behold, I wish I did watch it. But I did watch this one. Brighton versus Bournemouth. This game was amazing to watch. I mean, you have two teams who are you could look at them as little brothers in the Premier League, but they can knock off some top dogs. And Brighton started that early. Brighton came into Bournemouth away, which is actually one of the hardest places to play in the Premier League this season. They went in, got a goal early, and pretty much controlled the game for up until halftime. And then Brighton came out of halftime, or Bournemouth came out of halftime. Yeah, Brighton came out of halftime, got the second goal to go up 2-0, and then got a red card to pretty much set themselves up for not the best place to be in. But Bournemouth, they couldn't really get it done. They couldn't pull one back early, and so they got a goal in the 90th minute, kind of ish, a little bit before that to make it 2-1, but couldn't get that second one to make it 2-2 and win the game. So Brighton went in there, did their job, and took away with 3 points. Everton versus Brentford, they tied 0-0. Pretty similar teams. I mean, I think Everton should be definitely happy with themselves that they got a point, as they're trying to stay up into the Premier League. We know Brentford's going to stay up there, a really, really good team. Wolves took all 3 points off of Fulham. I'm surprised. I mean, Fulham's a team that has been at the top of the Premier League for a little bit of the season, but they're showing signs of inconsistencies, and so they need to definitely go back to the drawing board and fix that, because conceding 4 goals isn't the best. Especially not saying Wolves are a bad team, but defensively Wolves have been a liability all season long, especially when Chelsea played them. So when you look at that, I mean it just was what it was. Wolves take away all 3 points. Manchester City versus Tottenham. Tottenham went into the Etihad and knocked four goals past Pep squad. I mean, they're still so banged up. They have players coming back from international break. It's a rough showing from Manchester City. That's 4 games straight with losses from Manchester City, and so they definitely need to find themselves. They need to figure it out, and they need to figure it out fast, because they have Liverpool next weekend in the Premier League to and if Manchester City do not get these 3 points off of Liverpool, they'll be down 11 points, which is almost so hard to come back from, especially this late in the season. So I'll be interested to see what happens with Manchester City, and if they can finally find their feet and find their get some players back off of injury. I know Kevin De Bruyne, John Stones, both were back at training last weekend. Kevin played a little bit of the match against Tottenham, but it was what it was. He can't rush him back. So Tottenham though getting through all 3 points after losing to Ipswich a couple right before the break. They go get 3 points off Manchester City, so that's a big one for them. Southampton versus Liverpool. This game was very much so end to end. Southampton definitely killed themselves trying to play out of the back. And I was watching it, and I'm just sitting there like, and as a coach, I appreciate trying to play out of the back. I appreciate the ability to want to do it. And on their second goal, it was perfection. I mean, it was a ball that was knocked out of the keeper's hand, but it was a perfectly played ball up the sideline, and then a perfect switch to the middle of the field, then a ball back across goal, and then just an easy tapping goal to the far post. But I think the problem with Southampton, and you see so many other teams like Manchester City, like Chelsea, they all try to play out of the back, and some of them do it really well, some of them don't do it great well at all. Chelsea, we don't do it great at all. Southampton don't do it great at all, especially after watching that. But Liverpool got their goal. Mohamed Salah got the brace, and got 2 goals against Southampton to make it 3-2 as scoring a penalty in the 84th minute. So great game for Liverpool. Liverpool are trying to win the league under Slot for his first season, his first league title, and I think they can. I mean, Slot is such a smart manager. That Liverpool team is so rich and smart. And my thing with Liverpool is that their problem right now is that they need to try to keep all their players. They need to try to sign them, re-sign them after the season's over, and I think they can. I hope they can. So yeah, congratulations to Liverpool for getting all 3 points. But Ipswich versus Manchester United. Manchester United tied 1-1 with Ipswich. Manchester United's new manager, Ruben, I can't remember his last name, but he's now taken in charge from Sporting. He, watching his interviews, watching him talk, like it seems like a very refreshing side of a manager that Manchester City haven't had in a while. I'll be interested to see how this works. I'll be interested to see how they start to take a form. Because Manchester United has been bad for a while now. They have not been great for a while now, and I'll be interested to see if they can transform their play style, transform their team tactically. And I know their new manager likes to play a 3 at the back with his outside mids and the 5 in the midfield, playing a little bit higher, pushing them more higher. But yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see more competition in the Premier League. Ipswich though, taking 4 points off of Manchester United and Tottenham. That's not a bad night at all. And so yeah, big win for them. And then today's match, I actually watched this match as well. Newcastle versus West Ham. Newcastle just didn't look complete. It didn't look like they were effective when it came to the attacking ideologies, and that just made them just didn't look good. I mean, West Ham got 2 goals that were pretty decent goals. I looked up at one point in Wan-Bissaka was running back celebrating. So it was a big win for West Ham as they try to continue to stay in the Premier League. And this league this year has been definitely very inconsistent when it comes to knowing who's going to win or try to predict wins, and that's fine. I think that's good. That makes the league fun. But it has been a lot of fun watching this year, and I look forward to continue to watch. But yeah, up to Chelsea, and let me know how y'all feel about today's match.